This is the Nike Phantom 3D, not to be confused with the Phantom GT, because this is a Phantom GT, but with a 3D graphic that's not actually 3D. Trust me, I would know. It's a new colorway variant for the Phantom GT. There's physically nothing different about the boots, although they do come with some interesting extras, like these 3 plastic Nike swooshes, one in red, blue, and green. I'm not exactly sure what you're supposed to do with them, but they do include them. And you also get a string bag, which is also in 3D, but not really. We're gonna take a closer look at the colorway. I'll give you guys a look at the boots on feet as well. And I also wanna discuss where the Phantom GT stands in Nike's current lineup. So if you're interested in learning more, stick around and watch the entire review. And if you're interested in these Phantom 3Ds, for yourself, they're available in the low cut as well as the mid cut variations of the boot. No premium on the retail price. You can click the first link down below or the little pop-up in the corner of the screen. That's going to take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes to pick them up below their normal retail price. Oh, my eyes. And yes, these are Puma 3D glasses because Nike doesn't give you any. Oh, and by the way, today's video is brought to you by Curex insoles. I reviewed their Cleat Pro insoles almost 3 years ago and have used them exclusively ever since. The only issue has been availability, but that has now changed, and I'm super happy to have partnered with Curex and also be able to offer SR4U fans a discount on their Cleat Pro insoles, which you can take advantage of by checking out the link in the description. If you find your football boots are lacking in comfort and especially in arch support, these Cleat Pro insoles will make a huge difference for you. It features their special, flexible, low-profile arch support system that's actually available in high, medium, as well as low arch types, as well as in 6 different trim to fit sizes, so you can get the exact fit for your football boots because of the low profile design. They're also made out of super high quality materials that are gonna be significantly nicer than the stock insoles that come in your boots, and also have these little rubberized grips in the heel, forefoot, and near the toe to prevent a little bit of extra slippage underneath your feet. So if you hate the graphics on the standard Phantom GT colorways, I suppose this is a decent amount of variation, where you'll notice the Nike swoosh at the front, of which there are 3, is still in the same position, and then the Nike swooshes at the heel, of which there are also 3, are still in the same positions, but it does lose the ring running around the outside edge, which I know a lot of people don't like. Instead, you're going to find the word Phantom in blue written across the boot and then going in the same direction? Yes, in the same direction in pink. It's very difficult to see. It says the word skills, and then in yellow, which is even more difficult to see, you're gonna find Nike football written in a bunch of different languages, and you have that on both the lateral and medial side. There's some little blue pieces that kind of highlight the generative texturing of the Phantom GT. Then as you get towards the heel, there's a couple shades of blue as well as some pink kind of thrown in the mix to kind of highlight the 3D graphic effect that Nike were going for here. Phantom GT across the back in silver, your Nike logo in silver and blue at the top of the tongue. The entire heel liner, as well as the underside of the Flyknit, is in this nice kind of teal blue color, which doesn't really match any of the other blues on the outside of the boot, so it is a little bit weird in that regard, but because it's inside, you don't notice it all that much. And then on the bottom of the boot, some of that graphic does continue through the exposed part of the split sole, and then you're gonna find that you have an accent of a darker blue in the stripes for the sole plate, which is a non-wearable finish, by the way. Very thankful for that. And then more of that teal blue in the stud tips, which I suppose is the only other color that matches what's going on in the liner. Overall, they look much cooler and more vibrant in person than they look in a lot of the pictures. Whether or not it's your style, though, I guess that's something that you have to judge for yourself. As far as physical differences are concerned, you will find some extra Nike swooshes glued to the surface of the upper on both the lateral and medial side of the heel because of this design, but that area is backed by an internal plastic heel counter anyway, so you're not going to notice it, and it's not going to impact the feel or performance of the boot in any way. But speaking of performance, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I feel like the position of the Phantom GT in Nike's lineup has changed very recently because of the release of the latest generation of Mercurial. When Phantom GT first came out, it was competing against Nike's own Mercurial Vapor 13 and Superfly 7, which were both phenomenal football boots, but both football boots with a Flyknit upper, just like the Phantom GT. And when you put the Phantom GT against that particular Mercurial model, while this was a little bit wider and maybe a little bit more comfortable for certain foot types, and of course added the generative texture, which does provide some additional grip on the ball. When it came to every other performance characteristic, objectively, the Mercurials were better, which just meant that there wasn't a lot of reason to pick the Phantom GT. Fast forward to present day, and we now have the Vaporposit Mercurials, the Vapor 14 and the Superfly 8, which is a material that trends more towards the thin, plasticky, synthetic side of things, meaning that the Phantom GT is now the only full Flyknit model in Nike's lineup, and at this point in time, I think is more justifiable depending on what you're looking for rather than just always going for the Mercurial. My point being that if you really like Flyknit uppers, then I think you'll actually prefer the Phantom GT over the Mercurials, even if you were previously wearing the Mercurial Vapor 13 or Superfly 7. With that said, I still think the Phantom GT, in comparison to even the current Mercurials, is objectively lacking in certain performance areas where it's not as responsive, it's not as lightweight. The lack of anatomical sole plate is noticeable when it comes to how connected you feel to the football boot, and the stud pattern, as good as this one is, quite simply isn't as aggressive as what you're gonna get from the Mercs. So for me, this is still kind of a dialed back variation of the Mercurial. There's just more variation between this and the Mercs than there was before. So here they are on feet in all of their three-dimensional glory, while also paired up with some Pure Grip Socks Pro in white, which for those that don't know is my own brand of grip socks. The Pro version just came out. They are unfortunately sold out in some sizes, but you can sign up to get notified when they're back in stock. They retail for just $16.99 and feature an upgraded material from regular Pure Grip socks, which retail for just $14.99 a pair. If you're interested in checking some out for yourself, the website to go to is puregripsocks.com, which of course will be linked down below. Visually, I think that these look great. I think this is one of those colorways that definitely looks way better in person than the pictures would suggest. And as far as the overall fit and feel is concerned, the Phantom GT is a really comfortable pair of football boots. The full Flyknit upper has good flexibility to it. It's not quite as soft as some of the past Flyknit boots that we've seen from Nike, and that's because this doesn't really have much added padding to the internal liner. So it does have a firmer feel overall, but does move nicely with your feet. And then as far as width is concerned, it's definitely wider than a pair of Mercurials. I would say they're similar in width to a pair of Tiempos. Decent width through the midfoot, although they do slim down quite a bit through the toe box and forefoot area. But in general, I think these are going to be suitable for most foot types. Again, certainly a wider alternative when compared to the Mercs. And then as far as sizing is concerned, the Phantom GT, for whatever reason, this is kind of unusual for Nike, runs about a quarter size large. So I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and there's that little bit of extra space at the end that any other Nike boot, I wouldn't normally have that. So it's one of those things where I don't think it's big enough to where you need to go half a size down. Personally, if I go down to a 9 US in these, they end up being a little bit too small. For most people, I still think going true to size is the way to go, but it is something to be aware of that these do run about a quarter size large. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. If you're interested in more detailed information on the overall performance and kind of a tech breakdown of the Phantom GT, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen to my detailed review that goes over absolutely everything. Again, if you're interested to pair for yourself, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comment section and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one.